I think it's just important to follow up with what I achieved myself. Obviously, we heard yesterday, I ended up finishing with a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. First of all, in my first Commonwealth Games, I won an individual bronze and a team gold. And then that progressed to a silver and a gold. And then finally, I managed to win a individual gold as well as a team silver. Other results of mine were, I reached the quarterfinals of the World Champs 3 times. I played two Olympic Games, and I reached the quarters in Athens and the last 16 in Beijing. And with like all of my results, the highest ranking that I achieved was number 7 in the world. So over my career, I worked with various different coaches, English, French, Danish, and Malaysian, Indonesian, and Chinese coaches. So I think I had quite a wide range of training ideas passed on to me. And from a female point of view, there was one session in particular that, not knowing at the time when I was actually a player, but since I've moved into coaching, I think I've seen a real difference in the girls that I've done this with. It's really about repetitive movement, but also trying to put a little bit of a tactical element in there as well. I mean, like we talked about yesterday, there was some ideas that as a coach, you don't actually know what your player is thinking, and you don't know what's inside their head. So they can make the choices when they know all the movements. And you guys out there, you know lots of different movements to the same corners, depending on various situations. But the movements that I'm going to use today are based on what I saw from my regional players back in New Zealand at their recent national championships and over many age groups as well. So the reason for choosing this particular movement or range of movements is because when they were in the national championships, they would serve up high, and when they're ready to receive the next shot, when it came down to the forecourt area or midcourt, they just was here ready and just took one step. So they ended up taking the shuttle late if they got it back at all. So I tried to come up with some movements to try and, obviously, I mean, we want them to take it early, right? So we want to try and get their bodies into position where we can enable them to take the shuttle early and possibly even make some decisions based on where their opponents are based. So, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of knowledge in this room. So you guys know all the footwork. There's nothing different really than I'm teaching. It's just trying to get them into a pattern of footwork. So I'm just going to ask the girls to come out. So the music that I've chosen, hopefully the girls will find it quite motivating as we go through it. And the first piece of music is just really to get them used to the movement, just very basically walking through the movement, literally. Obviously, the players I work with are nowhere near as good as these guys, but they're up and coming. So just going to ask Crystal and Wendy, I think it was, to be at the front. And then we'll just move you two back. You're going to have a bit of room, so. Okay, yeah, good.
Say, hey, now, baby. Oh, mama, don't play
just
now,
walk into
baby.
it.
Say, hey, now, baby. So let's go on the train now, baby. Tell me if you love me now, love me now, love me now.
Nice and easy, right?
I'm lucky now, lucky now.
Okay, stand it down.
You gotta tell me.
Okay, so what do we want to do when we do this kind of movement? Where do we want to hit the shuttle? What's our thinking? Don't be afraid. Where do we want to hit the shuttle? Not a trick question. We want to hit it as high as we can. So when we move through, when we hit the shuttle, we want to use that nice and high here. Okay, remember we're putting our mind into the situation. We've served it up, and we want to try and take the next shuttle really early.
Say, 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 hey, hey now, baby. Oh, my mind on play now, baby. Say, 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 hey, hey now, baby. So let's go on the train now, baby. Tell me if you love me now, love me now, love me now.
So we'll come back to that again. Okay, we'll just switch you over. Now we're going to have a different leader. Just remember, put yourself into the situation. You've served it up or you've lifted it up, and we want to take the next one early. Okay? I'll let you guys kind of go with it. Remember, when we do this, we want to split on the beat and we want to hit on the beat.
Say, 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 hey, hey now, baby. Oh, my mind on play now, baby.
Nice, nice.
Say, 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 hey, hey now, baby. So let's go on the train now, baby. Tell me if you love me now, love me now.
Okay, awesome. So the next thing I'm going to do is add one little step. So after they've lunged, they're going to shuffle back and jump back. Okay? So we have the next track. And again, I'll start you off with this. Maybe you just want to move back a little bit more. Okay, so think about the situation. You've served it up. Where's your opponent? At the back. So what shot might you play? So maybe straight net. So again, thinking in your mind, what shot you're going to play. Okay, we'll go one more time. Okay, so as you see here, they're only moving a very small distance, okay? So what we'll do now is we'll open it up. They're still covering the forehand forecourt area, but we'll make it a little bit more realistic where they're on their forehand side. So we have one here, and we'll use the other side as well. And we have the second one behind. So you can have two on each side. So you can make yours a normal singles base. So we do this one time each with different ones at the front. Okay. Okay, it's Talia, right? So Talia's doing really well. She's taking it nice and early. So I think we've got to kind of have Talia as a benchmark. Okay? So this time you've played the block. Now your opponent's starting to recognize that every time you lift it, you lift it up, you're going to block. So they're starting to come in. So you've got to put your mind in the game that now your opponent's coming forwards. So then where's the space? At the back. Okay, let's just switch over. Have a different leader. Okay, so we very quickly done the movement in a court situation, but obviously the next one we have is putting it practically onto the court. So we'll have 2 on each side. So with them all being right-handed, we'll have the lifter on this side and the lifter over that side. So all the feeder's going to do, the feeder will be the person playing the fast drop from the back of the court. Yeah, so you're just going to play the fast drop. And you're going to feed. You can just use one shuttle's fine. So all you're going to do is just lift, yeah, and return back towards your base. And the person at the back playing the drop shot's just playing a straight fast drop. But make sure the person playing the lifting is trying to put themselves into a match situation where they're obviously trying to cover the whole court. Okay, Crystal, you might need to come back into the center. Yep, okay, where we go. Just nice and easy, try and keep the footwork the same. Trying to keep the footwork the same, so when you lift it, there's a little shuffle. Good. Nice, Talia. Okay, well done. We'll just quickly swap you over, so you both had a go. So, you can do this practice, like how Kenneth was suggesting. So instead of the person playing the drops, just playing the fast drops, eventually you can move towards the person playing the drops makes a decision to run forwards, and then the person playing the straight shot can choose then which they need to do tactically. So both of the 2 lifters here are carrying on keeping the footwork, which is great. Maybe we can just get Catherine to take the shuttle a little bit earlier. Nice, well done. Okay, awesome, well done. Thank you. Okay, if you just put the shuttles to the side. So we come back to number 1 now. Yep, we can come on this side. So that's very quickly the forehand forecourt area. Now we'll just move on to the backhand forecourt area. And again, just very simply, like with my players, it was a case of kind of walking them through the exercise first of all, just getting the general pattern of the footwork. We've gone a bit out of time. Sorry. Tell me if you love me enough, love me enough, love me enough. At the house on you, I'm lucky enough, lucky enough, lucky enough. You gotta tell me if you love me enough, love me enough, love me enough. Okay. I'm wishing for you, I'm lucky enough, lucky enough. So that was my fault. I went a bit out of time there, so sorry about that. So it's, just really walking through this particular exercise, just so that you kind of get the idea. The next one that we progress to is adding like a bit more match play situation, stepping through and adding that little shuffle before we come back. And because in our minds we're trying to play a straight shot, there's no need necessarily to open up completely. So when we play the backhand lift, we just want to set ourselves with a racket leg forwards. I think if I'm right, in this piece of music, the the beat does disappear, so then you put the responsibility onto the players to try and keep the rhythm. Okay, so there's a little bit of pressure for you there.
Is she the one you've been waiting for? Is she the one? Is she the one you've been dreaming of? Is she the one? I'm tired of staying up all night with you on my mind. Still I'm laying here, yeah, I'm laying in that shirt you used to like. No, I shouldn't mind. All I think about is, does she move your body like I moved your body? 'Cause I wanna know, yeah, I wanna know. Does she make you feel warm?
Okay. Well done. So obviously, again, for you guys, you're just moving in a really small area. So again, we want to put it back to a bit more full-size court situation. So again, we'll have 2 and 2. Remember, in your mind, you're playing a straight shot, and only you know what's inside your mind where your opponent is. So you can play a straight push, or you can play the straight lift. We don't need shuttles for this, we're just going to run through it. Yeah, just with the music. Yeah, so 1 in front, 1 behind.
I'm tired of staying up all night with you on my mind. Still I'm laying here, yeah, I'm laying in that shirt you used to like. No, I shouldn't mind. All I think about is, does she move your body like I moved your body? 'Cause I wanna know.
Okay, just fade it out.
Does she make you feel?
So remember that we're playing the straight shot, and we don't need to open up necessarily. So we want to kind of keep the racket foot forwards, yeah, when we get to our base. Do you guys think you're playing in kind of game speed? Okay, so try and put your mind into the game speed. Talia's doing really well again, taking the shuttle nice and early. So take a look at Talia. Okay, fade it out. Okay, awesome. So again, we'll take it onto the court using the shuttle. So 1 person playing fast drops, 1 person playing the lifts. Okay, just a quick change for you. Just quickly swap over. Trying to keep the footwork the same as what we practiced. Okay, we'll just pause you there. So we'll try and add in a little bit of what Kenneth did earlier about making decisions. So the person playing the drop shots, if they want to, can start to come forwards. Yeah, and that means the person playing the backhand can lift over their head into the gap. Likewise, the rallies won't go on for so long. Likewise, if you get the first lift and the person playing the fast drop stays at the back, then you just opt for the push. Yeah? We'll just give it a quick go. So remember, if your person's hanging at the back, you just play to the net. Remember, you don't have to keep the rally going. You're trying to beat your opponent. You're trying to observe where they're standing so that you can choose the other option. So if they're staying at the back, you just push. Yeah? If they move in, if the person playing the drops move in, then you choose over their head. Yeah? Yeah. Good try. So you can play the push, Wendy. Yeah, you can play the push, Wendy. Nice, Catherine. Yeah. No cross lift, no cross lift. Just playing straight. So Crystal's staying at the back here, Wendy, but you're still not playing the net. Yeah, if she stays here, you choose the net. The rallies won't go on long. Yeah, good. You can just let it drop, Crystal. Yeah, nice, well done. Okay, we'll call it time there. So when we're defending, like we might need to take one from our forehand side and then pick up immediately on the backhand side. So this one, we're going to cover the full court. So it's only alternate sides. Okay, we'll start off with one here, one behind, and we'll have two on the other side as well. Facing me. I'll start you off. Don't need the shuttles. Okay. Crystal, you can move back a little bit. So again, when we play our shot, we're only playing straight shots for now. Yeah. And the same thing, we're going on the beat, we're splitting on the beat, and we're hitting on the beat. And I think in this track, there's a period of time where we kind of lose the beat. So I might step out and leave it up to you guys, but you're trying to keep the rhythm until the beat comes in. Okay? But it's alternate forehand, backhand. So we've lost the beat. Keep going. See if you keep the beat. Keep the footwork the same. Okay, fade it out. So we lost the timing a little bit. Let's try bringing, let's just rotate you round a little bit. Doesn't matter where you go. So we're all trying to keep in time, we're all a team. Okay, one more time. Really try and make sure that you can try and cover the full width. Keep going. Keep working together. Nice. Oh, we've lost it a little bit. Okay. So ideally, I guess, I know it's the first time probably these guys have done this, but ideally we want to try and make sure that we can get our racket to the sidelines so that we know we've got the whole court covered. Okay? And with this one, I only need 2 girls. So again, with the players that I'm working with, we made this, so one person dropping from the back, they play alternate fast drops, and the person on this side just playing the lift, just to the center. So I only need 2 girls. We'll bring in the next ones after. So they're only going to lift to the center. Yeah. Try and keep the footwork the same. Little shuffle. Good. Okay, all good. So with this, one way you can make it more appropriate for the level that you're working with is they play the straight lift, and obviously the person in the corner can play cross drop, so it's alternate. But it's okay, we won't do that. We'll just move it on. Okay? The next movement is, or the last movement that I have, is what I think is important, especially for the singles. I mean, it's needed in doubles as well, but it's jumping out to the forehand rear court. Again, there's music to it, so we are preparing to move on the beat, and we're hitting on the beat. So let's get everybody in again. We'll have 2 each side. Yeah, so we'll just work down the middle. So we're putting our mind into the fact that we're moving out to the forehand rear court, and we're going to need to move you forwards. Crystal, you move forwards a bit. Yeah, a bit more. Okay. So okay, just pause it there. So this, for me, this movement, you need to take your chance like we were talking about yesterday in the panel. It's like, these are the opportunities that you play for. So it might be the situation that your opponent's played down your backhand side, and they quickly lift up here, and rather than taking it late and maybe playing something into their hands, we want to take the opportunity, get up and try and cut that down, especially if they played from a right-hander's backhand, okay? So again, we need to put ourselves into the match situation. You're taking your opportunity. Yeah, we're really taking that opportunity. We're trying to reach it up high. Okay. Okay, just pause it there. So what I see here is we're all doing the similar thing, but there's no, yeah, we want that killer instinct. Okay, so we need to make sure we jump up and make that short action with our racket. Yeah, we're really trying to win this rally. And if we don't win it on this one, we're trying to lead up and win it in the next 2 or 3 shots. Okay, cool. So for this one, moving it onto the court, this one we're doing a multi-feed situation. So they receive a flatter lift. So they're on their base, receive a flatter lift, and you're just going to jump up and hit it down straight. Okay, so we have the kind of clipper in this corner and one over that corner. I'll just jump in and quickly show you the feeding for it. Okay, you just come forwards. So I'm feeding reasonably quickly, but flatter. Yeah, just jump up, put it down the line. Good. Good. Okay, so that's what we're after. So if you quickly have a try yourselves. And there's some more over there. Nice, Crystal. Okay, yeah, then quickly swap over. So if you just swap to that side. Yeah, that's okay, that works. Nice, Wendy. Okay, good, good. Okay, we're all good there. Okay, so that's very quickly. Okay, we're all good, thanks. You can still stay around if you like. They might want to ask you some questions, I don't know. So for me, when I did this session as a player, I didn't really realize how, I really like it doing it now. And I think the girls that I've worked with, having done this, they found it quite hard work, but because they're kind of their minds in a game situation, like listening for the beats, they find it actually quite easy. It takes away the hard work that they're actually doing. And I know at dinner the other night we were talking about, it seems that funds are an issue. When I did this as a player, we did it in a dance studio, so there was no court markings. In a dance studio, you've got the mirror, so you're actually your own coach. So that was really helpful. I haven't done it in New Zealand with a mirror just yet, but I think you don't need, all you need is music. Yeah, and like I searched for the music to try and fit to the footwork that I was trying to work on. And I think it's a good thing for the players to try and come up with the music themselves, because it's music that motivates themselves, hopefully. And as long as it's kind of up-tempo, then like that's what you need so they can clearly hear the beat. I know, like I said in the beginning, that there are lots of different footworks to different corners and different situations, so that's important that you take that into consideration. But like I say, the session that I put together was based on my players back at home and what I thought would help them. So I think that's pretty much what I have. I think as well, we were talking yesterday about it's not just determined by the coach. By all means, let your player suggest any movements that they want to practice, and like work as a team, make it a collaboration between yourself and the player. And I think that's about all I have. So if anybody's got any questions.
Sarah from Vancouver, thank you very much for this wonderful practice. I want to ask, how much do you think it's important to have the players facing the net in this practice?
Yeah. I mean, ideally, yes. But with the cameras and everything, I thought it was good so that they could see everybody working in a team. I think it is important that you try and relate it onto the court for sure. But I was trying to kind of work out how to kind of display it.
So you're saying that if we have more players and Like,
When I did it back in England, there was probably about 20 players in quite a small area, maybe these 2 courts, just from the net. So it's a very small area. And I think one thing I need to point out is that it's important if you have any left-handers, like myself, I was always the problem one kind of thing, that you make sure that they're on the side, so that there's no clashing of rackets, and maybe you alternate the movements that they do. So maybe if you're linking 2 shots together, so if I come in for backhand here, it's important if I'm next to a right-hander that they're moving out to their forehand first. And then when I come across, they come over to my side. So you just got to be aware of the clashing of rackets possibly.
Hi, I'm Cristina from Peru. I noticed that in some cases you come back to the middle with 1 step, and the girls were doing it with 2 step. For you, is the same if they follow the beat of the music, or you prefer something specific?
Like, when I was lunging, I quickly did a shuffle where some of them, it was quite a big shuffle. So, I mean, I know it's the first time that they've probably done it, and it's something that you definitely work towards trying to get the same rhythm.
So you rather they doing it for you is ideal the kind of step that you did, the footwork. Okay.
Yeah. I think just to finish it up, when I did it, it was like only in a dance studio, so I never got to put it out onto the court straight away, and that's what I try to do today, is that they kind of learn the movement and then quickly put it onto the court so they can try and remember it.
Okay, Tracey, thank you so much.